Welcome back, lads and lassies. DualDEATHLucario here, and first up I just want to say thank you for 500 subscribers. Hit the goal yesterday when I woke up, totally not at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm not that lazy. But we hit the goal, and yeah, I feel really great about it. I know a lot of people are kind of like, oh, you hit 500, that's not too much. Listen, I was happy with 50 subscribers, so 500? That's good. The fact that 500 people care about my content and will come back every day, I mean 500 out of 7 billion, nothing. But again, it doesn't matter to me. I've never wanted to make YouTube my career, and the fact that I have as much a fan base as I do is something that is incredible to me, and I've met some of the most amazing people throughout my channel, so what's not to like about it? So on Twitter I ran a poll of what people would like to see for 500 sub special, and they said they'd like to see a Q&A. So I had you guys post questions on YouTube, Twitter and Facebook, and now we're just going to go through them. I'm going to start out with Twitter, and we'll see what we can do from there. So I want to say once again, thank you for 500 subs. Let's see if we can get a couple of 500 or maybe more. That'd be cool. Alright, so we got our first question from my good friend Seeker, one of the people in my inner circle. What do you like better, flippers or grabbing? Fuck you, Seeks, I'm not answering that one. Next question. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so for anyone who's maybe not aware, my inner circle, I have some friends who really like Primarina. Like, you think of my love for Lucario, their love for Primarina is almost the same. And they like to get into this debate with me with what's more adorable. Primarina's flippers or Lucario's adorable paws? And of course the answer is paws, so they're trying to catch me out here by getting me to admit flippers are cute. No, grabbing is better. But grabbing is not good, flippers are not good, but if I had to choose between the two, it would be flippers. But paws are still more adorable, because look at them, they're so floofy! Floofy! So, sorry Seeks, you tried to catch me out there and it didn't work. And by the way, Seeks, you just got the game, so if you play Pokken against me and you try that again, I'm just gonna have to make you catch these pawsies. Remember, my paws are still adorable, even when covered in your blood. So I got our next question from my good friend Serene Sweekun, another person in my inner circle. Will you bring back Wi-Fi battles with Ultra Sun and Moon? If you mean while I upload Wi-Fi battles to my channel, probably not, because I have to get a capture card, and these things aren't cheap. This is not a capture card, by the way, this is my normal DS. And also, we know that this is going to be the Ultra is going to be the last game on the 3DS, and then they're going to move over to the Switch, so there's no point, really. If you hit me up on my social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Discord, and if you don't want to play Pokken but you'd rather play Ultra Sun and Moon, I'm willing to do that as well. But for that, I'm willing to play the 6v6 battle spot rules, which is bring whatever you want as long as they're not really broken legendaries. I'm willing to play the Smogon OU tier. I know not everyone likes it, but I'm willing to play it because I know some people like it, and I have friends that play it, so I have to know the tier anyway. And I will play VGC. I have one VGC team. I have not played VGC seriously since early 2015, so I suck balls, but I'll maybe give it a try. We get Pokemon for the Switch late next year. I might actually make some of those videos to go along with Pokken, but know that Pokken, this channel, will always be this channel's main focus. So don't worry about that. So next question is from Sky Smog. It's, why did you choose the chat tag DualDEATHLucario? So, this is one that I was hoping people would ask me, because I often get questions from people IRL why I chose this name. So, back when I was about 13, I got an Xbox 360 for my birthday? My 13th birthday. Yeah, I got an Xbox 360, so I got Xbox Live with it, so I had to pick an online name, an online alias. So I couldn't pick one, so at the time I asked my big cousin, who I looked up to, I was close with, and who was the cool guy in my life, could you pick a tag for me? And he picked Dual Caliber, and I liked it. So I stuck with that for a while. Then a few years later I decided to be edgy teenager and put Dual Death Caliber. So that was my name for a long time. If you go back, there's probably some videos way back of other people, and if you scroll down a bit you might find Dual Death Caliber. That's me, by the way. And then when I got into YouTube, I decided to make a new name. I decided to keep the Dual Death part because I stuck with it for so long, but I decided to make it more Pokemon oriented. So I replaced Caliber with my favourite Pokemon, DualDEATHLucario, and that's how it's been. I've sometimes considered dropping the Death part because I'm not edgy anymore and just stick with DualLucario, but I'm just going to keep it because it's kind of growing on me. When I went to DreamHack, they didn't allow me to have the name Dual Death in my name, so I just went with DualLucario. And I'm pretty sure they wanted me to drop the Lucario part of my name because we couldn't have anyone named after a Pokemon. It would have been Dual Luke. Lovely. Okay, so the next question is from Lucario, another cool person that I talk to every now and then. When did you start loving Lucario and why? I can't really explain why. I talked about this a bit in depth in my top 10 favourite Pokemon video, which is somewhere on this channel. I'll probably never find it. But I fell in love with Lucario round about the time the Mystery of Mew film came out. I saw one of the trailers, I saw some of the screenshots of it, and I saw Lucario and I fell in love immediately. I'm just going to have him sitting here. So I fell in love with him immediately. I just don't know why. I don't know if it was his design. I don't know what it was. I just loved Lucario, and I just thought to myself, I need to see this film. So I watched the Japanese subbed version of this film. It's the first time I've ever done that with a Pokemon film. I've not watched the Japanese sub of a film except for this one. So I saw it, I loved it, I wept like a fucking baby at the ending, and I watched the English version, and that was just it. We just love at first sight. I can never really explain why I love Lucario. I just do. The minute I saw him, he became my favourite Pokemon immediately. When Diamond and Pearl came out, I refused to complete the game without one. So what I did was, I looked everywhere for one. I eventually found a Riolu, but the location was unknown. I battled Maylene and her Lucario, location was unknown, I was a little sad. Then I bumped into Riley, he had a Lucario, he gave me an egg, I had a feeling what it would hatch into. Once it did hatch into the Riolu, I stopped playing the main story, and I went back and I leveled that Riolu. I grinded it all the way from level 1 to level 40, and then it evolved. And then I just kept replaying the game. I've had Lucario on most playthroughs of the game. I have about 6 Lucarios in my Ultra game. No, I actually have 8 Lucarios, and they're all competitive. I have my 6 singles ones, my shiny one that I grinded about the time ORAS was ending and I just wanted something to do. And I have my VGC Lucario. And yeah, that boy right there is my pride and joy. You can't really see from the camera, but it's a golden shiny Lucario. My pride and joy. I love Lucario. Can't really explain why I love him, but I fell in love with him the second I saw those pics and those screenshots and that trailer for the movie. He's my boy. Alright, so next question from Silver Squirrel. Do you like Infernape and what's your favourite Johto starter? I like Infernape, yeah. Infernape, the Gen 4 starters are probably my favourite trio of starters. I love all of them. It's always, whenever I play a Gen 4 game, I'm always like, which one do I choose? I love you all! The one I picked the most often though was Torterra, since back to my first playthrough I picked Turtwig, so I have a very close attachment to Torterra. And that's it, but I do love Infernape. And the only reason I wouldn't like Infernape is in the anime, Ash's Infernape sort of overshadowed his Torterra, and I was a little sad of that because I like Torterra, but I like Infernape too. And my favourite Johto starter is the Cyndaquil line. Actually, we have this guy. I have a Cyndaquil plush, and I love it. He's so cute. Look at his eyes. He's adorable. Yeah, I love Cyndaquil. So the next question is from Eclair McMew. What is your favourite mythical Pokemon? That's a hard one. I don't think I have a favourite mythical. Because mythicals have been so exclusive, I've never had an attachment to them. I guess the only one that I actually do like is Jirachi, simply because of how much Jirachi has saved my ass in Pokken. I think that's really just it. The only reason I like Jirachi is because of Pokken. It's kind of cute too, and unfortunately when the 20th anniversary was last year and you could get all the mythical Pokemon, Jirachi was the one I missed. Ugh. It's the only mythical I don't own. That would be typical, wouldn't it? But I would say Jirachi simply because of how much it saved my ass in Pokken. That buff it gives when you Mega Evolve, ooh, it's powerful. And if they ever nerf Jirachi, I will hate life. It is also pretty cute. Next question is from Lucas. This is someone in my inner circle I talked about. Do you play Smash Bros before Pokken? Which one? Who did you main? I played Melee when I was a kid, but I can barely remember it. The only thing I can remember about Melee is me and my friends trying to get Mewtwo, and then we discovered he was terrible. But in Melee, I can't really remember who I played. In Brawl, I obviously played Lucario. I didn't actually know that Lucario was going to be in Brawl until I got to that part in the game, and I saw Lucario, and I just immediately freaked out, and I said I'm going to play Lucario no matter what. I also played Snake a good bit, because I love Metal Gear Solid, and Snake is probably one of my favourite video game characters of all time. When Smash 4, well, I did play that a good bit. I have some IRL friends that I hang out with who are big Smash fans, they play it all the time, and I played it quite a good bit with them. before Pokken came out, and I became more obsessed with that. I did play Lucario, obviously, and the only reason I ever won was because of Rage plus Aura and me just getting lucky. I will admit my friends are much better at Smash than I am. I don't really play Smash anymore. I sold my Wii U when I got my Switch. I've got it on my DS, but I don't really play it. That's my other DS. But I don't really play it. I guess Lucario was the character I played. I sort of dabbled in Mario and Link too. I like Link, and I like the way Mario played. I like his strong neutral. I think I am interested in Smash. Like, if there's a tournament on and I've got nothing to do, I'll watch it. And yeah, Smash is still fun, but it's not really my style of fighting game. My style is definitely Pokken. It's definitely where I excel. And if any of my friends ever play me at Smash and beat me, I just say, well, play me at Pokken and I'll annihilate you. And then they shut up. Got a big one from Alti Smash, another person I talk to every now and then. If you could make Pokken really balanced, as in no one would have any complaints, what would you do? That's impossible. That is impossible. There's no... The only way you could do that is by taking out all the characters and having 2 playable characters and they're both same. Like, balance in fighting games is almost impossible. There's always going to be something someone is going to complain about. Whether they are a new player or a top player. Like, the only fighting games I would consider really balanced, there's 2. There are the original Street Fighter, and I'm not talking Street Fighter 2 that you've probably played a million times. I'm talking the original Street Fighter that I guarantee you've not played. I've not played it, but I don't think you've played it either. And the other one would be Karate King, which is a really old late 1980s game. I've not played it either, but I understand why they're so balanced, because there's only 2 characters, and they play exactly the same. Like in the original Street Fighters, Ryu and Ken, but they have exactly the same. They have the same damage, the same moves, the same health. They are identical. But that makes it boring. You would never want to play that. Because in fighting games we want to see a diverse roster, and we want to see lots of different playable characters. That means balance is very hard. I mean, of course, if there's something broken, like Shadow Mewtwo's Pillar back in the original, or when Pokken came out, that was really broken because it was an infinite. And yeah, that's not okay. We get rid of that. But as of right now, I don't think anyone in this game is really overpowered. I think there are good characters and the best characters, but a lot of people complain about Decidueye. I don't even think he's the best character. Like, if you think of all these good characters, they have reasons for being good, but they're not amazing. Like, I would consider Lucario to be number 2. Do you ever see Lucario winning all the major tournaments? No. Pokken is one of the more balanced games where anyone can win. Like, if you go to any tournament and you look at the results, you'll notice how diverse it is, and you'll notice how the same Pokemon that won last week did not win this week, or last month, depending on when the tournaments were. But that's what I like about it. It's very balanced in a lot of ways, and I don't think Pokken can become it. And even if someone is playing the best character, that doesn't automatically mean they win. Like, I've run into so many different Pika Libres, and I've beaten them. Most of them. The only one, even like some of the better ones, like Fabulous. I've beaten Fabulous before. Granted, like 1 game out of 3, but it's proven that I can actually beat one of the best Libres in the world. And I've beaten other good Lucarios, and I've beaten good Machamps, and I've beaten good Decidueyes, so it's not like you can be carried by a character. You have to be good at the game. And that's something else. I think Pokken is a game that really needs balance right now. There are maybe 1 or 2 things that people complain about, but everyone will complain about something. Okay, so we got our last question from someone else in my inner circle. This is Joel, Ace Racer Toad. Gonna ask you here, what made you get into Pokemon for the first time? I kind of grew up with Pokemon. It was sort of around me as I was growing up. My first game was technically Pokemon Crystal, and my starter was Meganium, but I cannot remember it too well. All I can remember is my Meganium, Suicune, encountering Suicune in the Bell Tower, and the Red Gyarados. I can't remember anything else about it, so I don't really consider it my first game. I would consider my first game to be my Ruby playthrough, and it was mostly just because I grew up with everyone still playing Pokemon. By the time I got into it, it was sort of dying down a little bit, but I got into it just before it died just before all the popularity behind Pokemon in the early 2000s died out. So I got into it the last second, and I just sort of stayed into it. I had friends and family around me who played it, so it was natural that I got into it. That was a long time ago, back when Ruby came out. Alright, so we're going to move over to YouTube now and answer the questions on there. We got another question from Joel, Ace Racer Toad. Who was your inspiration for making YouTube videos? That's a hard one. I don't think I have many inspirations. If I had to think off the top of my head, a couple of people, back when I first started YouTube, about when I started doing VGC videos, which have all been taken down because I don't really care about those anymore, I say my inspiration would be Alex Ogloza, who was the 2014 National US Champ, and I just loved Alex because he was a great battler, he used really cool Pokemon, and he was hilarious. Alex is basically a meme god that I love. And I still enjoy his Pokemon Feet series, where he does the facts, Easter eggs, and trivia, the facts you probably don't know about Pokemon. He's really good at that. And he doesn't really upload many videos of his VGC stuff to YouTube anymore because the algorithm doesn't really like it. But I am a Patreon of his, I do pay him on Patreon, so I watch his videos there. If I had to pick someone for my Pokken side, I guess I would pick some Smash people like Styles X2 and A-Star Third, because they do Super Smash Bros. For Glory that's quite similar to my ranked, where we just play for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and just battle different people. And if I guess I had to pick someone for Pokken, it would be Bimmy Question. Them done videos very similar to mine by the time Pokken came out, and back then when I was really bad, Bim was considered good, and I did learn a bit. He's much like Alex, he's a very funny guy, and I did enjoy watching a lot of his videos. I still enjoy him to this day. I'm pretty sure he plays the Situ right now. I watched a live stream of his a while ago. He's still a funny guy. Okay, we got another question from J. Palmore. How long did it take you to figure out Lucario was going to be your main? All of 1 second. The second I saw Pokken and I realised it was a fighting game and Lucario was in it, I immediately knew who I was going to play. I talked about how much I love Lucario a little earlier. Okay, so we got a question from Kumoto Blaziken Gaming, someone I played in DualDEATH 5s. Have you ever hate or thought is bad in general Blaziken? I know English isn't his first language here, so I'm guessing that question is, have you ever hated or not liked Blaziken? No, never. I've actually really liked Blaziken. As I've stated, Ruby was sort of my first game, and when I played Sapphire, like my second playthrough of Pokemon, Blaziken was the Pokemon I picked on my second playthrough. I liked Blaziken, and I still do. Blaziken's still a really cool looking Pokemon. If you're asking if I don't like ever fighting Blaziken, no, I really enjoy fighting Blaziken. It's not that character that annoys me. Like, if I lose to Blaziken, it's either because my opponent done something great or I done something wrong, and there's nothing wrong with that. Blaziken's not a character that I can ever say, oh, that's cheap. Or, oh, I'm so angry at Blaziken because he's so easy. No, I know that Blaziken, when played properly, can be scary, but to play him properly, you have to know when to take the risks and when not to. And I always feel that Blaziken and Lucario have a sort of rivalry going on between them. Maybe it's because they fought in the anime that one time, but I really like the sort of interaction that Lucario and Blaziken have, even though there's nothing really there. But yeah, I like Blaziken. I will play him eventually in the future. I do plan to play all characters, but I'm looking forward to playing Blaziken actually. I don't know when I'll play him, but I am looking forward to it. So I got another question from Seeks, and it's not about paws and flippers this time. What would be your best ever Pokken DX battle you ever played? That's a hard one. Give me a sec to think about this. Best ever DX. DX makes it easier because I don't have to think of every single game I played. Alright, I've got it. It's at Revel. When I went to Revel, I played a lot of games, a lot of competitive tournament matches, I played friendlies, but I would say my favourite, the one that sticks out the most in my mind, is when I played Sandy Dragon, the Suicune player. Now, I recognised the name. I thought to myself, wait a minute, I've bumped into Sandy a couple of times online, and she's playing Suicune. I know this shouldn't be too rough, and she annihilated me in the first round. And I was like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. So I said to myself, I can't go out like this, I need to just focus. So I focused, got into my mindset, and I started playing, and I took back the second round, and it came to a very close game 3, but I was able to win it. I remember one moment in the final round where she activated Burst, and I activated Burst, and we were both like sitting on the edge of our seats with our fingers on the Burst button, like, someone, come on, press a button, make a mistake. And we were at far enough separation that I knew that I could safely throw an Aura Sphere and she wouldn't punish it. So I threw an Aura Sphere, she tried to punish it with her Burst, I was too far away, and just by instinct, I clicked my own burst, and I thought, why did I do that? I'm too far away, I'm not going to hit her. And I did. I did land my burst, I confirmed it from... Basically, if I was like an inch further back, I would have missed. But I was thinking, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I can maybe try and grab her, I can maybe throw out a 5Y, do something, but I hit her with my burst, and then I took the rest of the game. I didn't win the game, there was still a little bit of fighting, but obviously I had a massive advantage now. I took a lot of her burst meter away, she no longer had her burst, she'd lost a lot of health. And I took it, and I just remember, that stuck out in my mind the most because of how badly she wrecked me in the first game, and then I came back. Later that night, when we all went back to the Airbnb, the place everyone was staying, and everyone went out for food, me and Sandy had already eaten, so we weren't hungry, so we stayed behind playing some Pokken. We played about 20 games. By then, I adjusted to her, and I proved why the matchup is hard for Suicune, to the point I was happily going Shadow Mewtwo, and she was raging at the fact I could throw out 4 pillars now. In Duel, but I was like, no, the pillars are weaker, they do less damage, I'm technically hurting myself more. Yeah, it was really fun, and Sandy was dead, and I remember day 3 of Revel, the final day, we all decided to have a money match tournament, where it was a tag team money match, everyone put some money in, and the winner would take everything. It was a tag tournament, me and Sandy teamed up. We didn't do too well, but it was still a fun experience to have, and she was one of the nicest people I ever talked to there, so that sticks out in my mind. I loved Revel. I'd love to go back. So we got another question from Admiral Akbar. I'm guessing he's taking a break from Star Wars Battlefront and all the EA controversy. And he's saying, how did you make the jump from good at Pokken to competitively good? Okay, so I started to get into the more competitive aspect of Pokken round about DreamHack. That would have been April, March-ish? Because that's when people started recommending I go. That's when I set up and got my flight booked, I got my hotel booked, and I was ready to go. So I decided to practice for the last few months, and I started playing with other people who were going. I started training for this tournament. I started talking to top players, and they pointed out my bad habits, and they said, you should not do this, you should not do that, and just adapt. And they told me what I needed to do better, and I recognised what I needed to do better. I started competing in online tournaments to practice for DreamHack, and that was really how it came. And then after I played, I still went into DreamHack, not as good as I was when I left, but going to a tournament and meeting other players and talking to them about what I should be doing is just really helped me. So that's when I made the jump between March and April. It took me a full year more than a year to realise what I was doing wrong and how to improve. That's why I would recommend you go to a tournament. So Sky Smog is asking again, what is your favourite thing about Lucario? I guess if I had to pick anything, it would be how represented Lucario is in Pokemon. Like, if you think of Pokemon's mascot, you think Pikachu, but if you think, okay, what if Pikachu wasn't the mascot? Who would it be? I'm thinking Charizard, Mewtwo, or even Lucario, because Lucario is a popular Pokemon, and I think they realised that. They gave Lucario several episodes in the anime, they gave him his own movie, they gave him Mega Evolution, and they gave him like the backstory for Mega Evolution in X and Y. They made Lucario pretty solid in the games, they put him in 2 Smash games, they put him in Pokken, and I just love that Lucario, my favourite Pokemon, is in all of that. Like, I can enjoy Pokemon a lot more because Lucario's in it. I love Pokemon, but I love it more because Lucario's in it. I think that would be what I love about Lucario, the fact that he's very represented in Pokemon. So I got another question from Shady Oak, another person in my inner circle. How horrible was it to record the Pokken movie? Much harder than I thought it was. If you guys don't know, the Pokken movie was when I'd done 2 hours of ranked, and I thought I could do it in one go. I thought I'd be like, okay, just sit down for 2 hours and play, but unfortunately I got really tired doing that, like my voice started to hurt, and I got some matches that were just not good, like my opponents were lagging and I was like, I can't put this in, I can't even move. It took me about 3 days to record it and another 2 or 3 days to edit everything. But I would definitely do it again because I think everyone enjoyed it and I loved the reactions I got from it, and of course I got 2 funny rage quits I was able to put in. So yeah, I would definitely do a Pokken movie again. Don't know when. I got a question from Polar Bear, what is your favourite animal? My favourite animal is doggos. I love dogs. You might have noticed these photos behind me, that one there, and these ones over here. Those are actually my 2 dogs. I got it's this one here, that was mine. My first dog, I got him when I was about 7 or 9 and I saw the Disney's film Lilo and Stitch. So I loved that film, I loved the character of Stitch, so I named my dog Stitch. and I had him for a long time. Then we got the other one, which you can see right here in this photo. We got her, and we named her Lilo naturally, because that was very fitting. Unfortunately, Lilo passed away when she was 9 years old due to heart problems, and my Stitch passed away when he was 14 because of age. I've not been able to get a dog since because I've been living on my own, and it's really hard for me to get one and take care of him myself, so yeah. Okay, I know this is a little disorientating, but if you want to know how much I love my dog, that's him there. I've got a massive photo of him above my bed. That's how much I love my Stitch. Okay, I've are some questions from Kimo. Kimo, I asked you to post one question on YouTube, not 5. But okay, Kimo, I'll take 3 questions from here. Who are your top 5 favourite players to watch? Okay, let's think about this. I would say Absolute because he's a godlike Lucario and a meme lord. And I've learned a lot from Lucario from watching him. I've learned new setups like the 5Y, like the neutral Y into Charge Force Bomb into JY in field. I would say Gorson because his Machamp is really cool, and I've been watching Gorson a lot recently because I've been picking up Machamp. I would also say Azazel since he's one of the first players I did watch seriously because Azazel is great with Machamp. For my Shadow Mewtwo, I would say Bad Intent because his Shadow Mewtwo is brilliant and I love watching my mains played well. If I had to pick 2 others who aren't really in there, who would I pick? I would say I would also like to say Elm because his Suicune is great and I think he just understands this game so well. Elm is talented at this game and I'm pretty sure he's picked up Empoleon now, which is quite cool because I would like to see Empoleon get carried by a great player and see how good Empoleon could potentially be. And I would say my final one is actually Thanks Swallow, who plays Sceptile because his Sceptile is really amazing to watch and he, like Absolute, is a meme lord and I think that's hilarious. Alright, I said I was only going to answer 1 question from Kimo, but I'm going to ask one more because I think this one is something I'd like to talk about. What tournaments are you planning to attend in the future? I have a couple of ideas. If Pokken gets the EVO spotlight, I'd like to go to EVO to play Pokken, it'd be amazing. I would also like to go to World's LCQ because that'd be great. I would have went to LCQ this year in 2017, but I didn't. But I forgot about it, and by the time I remembered, it was too late. I would go to DreamHack again. I'd definitely go to Revo again because I enjoyed those 2, and definitely DreamHack is where I got my start, and I'd like to see how much better I could do this year. And Revo, loved Revo. And for my final tournament, I'm not sure. Like I'd want to go to 4 or 5 a year, but Final Boss, if it is a yearly thing, I'd like to go to that too. Problem with that one being so close to Revo, it'd be costly and I'd have to get time off college and work. But those are the ones I'd like to go to the most. From Shade of Winter, is a hot dog a sandwich? Yes. And from Lifefood-chan, how often do you encounter salty players in DX Online? I would say pretty much every single time I play. Either 1 every half hour or 1 or 2 every hour. That's just really it. And I got one more from Brandon Brine over on Facebook. How long did it take you to stop doing bad habits in Pokken such as grabbing, RPSing, DPing? DPing was about the time I got into B rank because I realized extreme speed wasn't working. As for RPSing and grabbing, I would say RPSing kind of stopped before DreamHack and then grabbing stopped after it, so round about that time. So this Q&A went on much longer than I thought it would, but I had a lot of questions and a lot of things I wanted to talk about. So sorry this took so long, but nice thing to do on your Sunday, just listen to me ramble. But anyway, I want to say thank you guys very much for watching and thank you all for 500 subscribers. I'm DualDEATHLucario. Hope you all enjoyed and I hope you all have a nice day.